got never got the right names. There were thousands. It was incredible. And that helped me, because I did things like that which had a big impact on the company. And I moved to Leicester, and then I got involved with fashion, which when I was in Newcastle, the fashion buyers wouldn't have anything to do with me. No, you're not in the hardware department, no, you're in the fashion department. But I became very good at fashion because I used my brain.
Same techniques, yeah.
And I gave it.
So why was I born in Australia? Why are we in Australia now then?
Well, I'll tell you. I was in Leicester, and I had the China and Glass department, and this girl, Jenny, came to speak about something. Right.
Display.
Just
Working for another supplier.
Yes. And I heard her speak, and I said, would you like to come and work for me? What can I do? I said, I don't know, but I think if you'll have a department within 3 months. And she decided to come. And within 3 months, she had a department. She had the China and Glass department. And that's when we became number 4 in the world, or in England, for the Royal Worcester.
Right.
Because she could see, she's bright, isn't she?
Yes.
Her talent was such that she was able, and very shortly she was looking after the cosmetic department and the China and Glass. Unfortunately.
Well, fortunately for me.
Yeah, fortunately for you, yes. We fell in love. And I didn't like that. That was terrible. And then somebody came from overseas, from Australia, looking for somebody, and they interviewed me, and they wanted me to think about coming out to Australia because they'd heard about me.
To work in Australia.
To work in Australia, and I came out, and I went back, and I didn't. That's when I went to Africa on the way back. I didn't want to come to Australia. Well, they put up the price.
The offer.
Yeah, which was just under $200,000 a year then.
Wow.
And Felix were mortified. Oh, couldn't believe it. They offered me Newcastle store, their biggest, employing 1,300 people, to send my 3 sons to rugby, pay their fees. They wanted me to stay. It was a terrible time, and I thought, well, if I stay, I can stay with my family, my wife and
Heather and
yeah.
the boys.
But for some reason, I decided. Well, I decided to go and stay with my boys, take them with me, go with Heather
Yes.
to Australia, and finish with Jenny. So we did that. I mean, I didn't want to, but I thought that's the only way I'm going to save my marriage is to come to Australia. So we came out here, and unfortunately, we decided we wouldn't even have exchanged letters. That was it. We came out here, and I started out here, and I was quite successful. But I think I had a telephone call from Jenny, and that didn't help, because Heather wasn't the same Heather out here as she was in England.
She wasn't happy.
She wasn't happy here. and we didn't have such a good relationship. And I think David was the youngest, and he probably suffered the most. But in the end, we decided that I'd have to see Jenny. We went to Hawaii together and had the most fabulous time.
So just a question, so you flew from Australia to Hawaii?
I flew to, and she flew from England.
Right, so you met in the middle, yes.
Yeah, and that was it. Jenny, by this time, I'm talking about Jenny. I'm talking about who am I talking about?
Well, Heather was
Heather. I'm talking about Heather. Yeah, yes. Heather had some problems with Heather. I mean, remember one of the Phoenix said to me, "I don't think your wife likes us." Well, that didn't help, did it?
That's an opinion.
Pardon?
That's their opinion.
No, she don't. They don't. Why doesn't she like us? I couldn't believe it. Or things like that.
That's history now.
It is history now, and
so you met Jenny in Hawaii, realised.
Well, I met.
It must have been a very hard decision to make.
It was very hard.
But happiness is important.
Yeah, but she was horrified that I told her that I was leaving her, and that was terrible.
And she went back to England?
She went back to England with David.
And that Christopher and Peter stayed?
They stayed here, yes. Yes, and then she married somebody else in England and married somebody else again later.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Two other brothers.
Yeah.
I know that. So where did you live in Australia with Jenny?
I lived in
With Vaucluse?
Vaucluse, yes.
And Peter and Christopher went to Scots?
They went to Scots, yes. Yes, so then I was...
You were still working for Walton's?
Walton's, yes. It's a terrible company. They were really terrible.
Now I've been told that you had a fish and chip shop. Whose idea was
Well, the reason why we had a fish and chip shop was that I was looking at what the future's like, and fish and chips, the way it was handled, was the future. Not just you own a fish and chip shop, but you had a fish and chip shop which you could. There was fish and chip. There was two things that were uppermost in my mind as far as business was concerned. Fish and chip shop was, the way it was run was one, which didn't work. We had to finish up running it ourselves. Wasn't meant to happen. And there was something else which were different. The way that business changes, I can't remember what it was now.
That's okay. So how did you end up in the clothing industry then?
Well, the clothing industry, that was the other, how did I enter the clothing industry? Well, I'd have to think about that.
Okay, that's all right. Well, you see, you had manufacturing, and Bar was running the retail, Jenny was running the retail stores.
Yes.
And
Jenny was... The fish and chip was a mistake. It didn't help.
No.
But we were stuck with it because we'd committed a lot of money to it. And there was something else. We had to fight our way out, which we did in the end.
Well, it obviously ended up okay because you've got a good lifestyle still.
Yes.
In a beautiful place.
I have to think about some of these other questions.
It's okay.
That'll do for now.
All right.
I was invited by people from, they were Arabs. They offered me a job. Yeah. Oh, I know. That's right. And we started a thing we started this business. They offered me this job because they'd seen what I could do, but they didn't really want me to have much control over it.
What business was it?
Well, it was in, what was it called?
Was it Maurice?
It was a clothing business.
Right. Oh, Dinkum Fair.
Dinkum Fair.
Yes.
Yeah, Dinkum Fair. I started Dinkum Fair, and they wanted me to run it for them. But they didn't like me running it for them, and it was going quite well. But I was committed to them, and then they decided, no, we don't want to, we don't need you. So I just had to walk out. But I said, I'll walk out, but I'll take one of the stores with me. Dinkum Fair at Bondi Junction. So Jenny and I walked out with Dinkum Fair at Bondi Junction. And we started it there, and that became very successful, didn't it?
I don't know.
Did. Yes, it did. You've seen the pictures of it.
I've seen some photos, yes.
Quite big store, wasn't it?
Yes, it
was. Yes. Anyway, that's what happened there. But something else happened as well. That's enough now.
That's enough, all right.
Go up and you come down, and I've done that so many times. But I never give up.
No. I know.
I never give up, and I can think of I did so well with the Chinese. That was sad.
When you say the China, you mean the manufacturing?
Yeah, when we were manufacturing over in China. That's a sad story.
Why is it sad? I don't know the story.
Well, I need another session with that one.
Okay, all right. We'll pause here.
That's complex. But I started doing. This was when China was becoming important.
Is this before you had Kennedy?
Pardon?
Is this before you had JMK Proprietary Limited? Before you were manufacturing in Australia, or after?
Which was
because I remember when I was young, I used to go to Surrey Hills on Kippax Street. Go upstairs to your office.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And you had.
Oh yes.
You had the makers. I used to ride the trolleys as they were laying the fabric. And
yeah. Yes. That's
with the guys cutting out the patterns.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Well, that's yeah. I've forgotten about that.
Right.
Because that was quite busy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a busy business.
That's another section, and that led on to China.
Right, I understand.
And
because things changed when Australia dropped the import tariffs.
Right. Then we could do business with China.
That's right.
And I did. I was doing very well with China.
And I remember you had a computer room that was quite advanced. You bought a machine.
Oh, I did.
That's the patterns.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
and all of that was very important.
Yes. Yeah.
But something happened to that, didn't it? What happened to that?
I'm not sure. Well, I think technology
anyway,
has gotten better.
Okay, well there you go. But I finished up in China.
I don't know much about the China. I mean.
No, well that's enough for now.